Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here. Welcome to another plugin knowledge session. In this session, we're going to have a look at a plugin called Little Plate by Soundtoys. So firstly, if you're new to my channel and to my videos and you like what you see, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to get notified of all my future videos as they come out. So Little Plate from Soundtoys is a cut down version of what I suspect will be a full Soundtoys Plate plugin at some stage. At the time of this recording, that has not been released, but based on what has happened with Little Microshift, Little Altar Boy, they all were sort of a cheap version cut down with simple controls that was sort of a teaser to the full version that would come out at a later date. And they've done that with all the other ones, and we're still waiting for them to do that with this, but the assumption is they will do it with this one as well. So it is a simple, great little plate reverb plugin that sounds good and can be used on lots of instrumentation where you feel a plate reverb is going to suit. The layout, the controls, very simple, and the plugin itself is reasonably cheap and can be gotten for great deals in sales, etc. This is one of my older videos from my website that hasn't made it to YouTube yet, but it's a good plugin, so I thought it was time to go through the back catalog and get it up on YouTube. So if for any reason the quality is not quite up to scratch, or you find I'm a little bit boring, hopefully you'll keep that in mind, and hopefully it's still great quality and you're going to get a lot out of it. So let's stop talking about it and get in and have a look. So basically this plugin is Soundtoys' attempt at replicating the famous EMT 140 plate reverb. So the EMT 140, as I said, is very famous. It's a massive unit that uses big metal plates. It uses magnetics and things like that to vibrate big metal sheets to create the reverb effect. As the name, that's why they call it a plate. These units are obviously not something that you would want in your house. These things are huge and very rare, but they are in some very large studios, and it's a very famous unit. So there's a lot of companies that have emulated this. There's obviously UAD has one. That's a very good one, and I'm sure there's more than that. But this is obviously Soundtoys' new one, their version of it. It's, like I said, this is the little version, so it's cut down, very basic controls, not much settings you can do with this. But it's about the sound, so hopefully the sound is what we're looking for. So basically, the biggest control on this unit here is the decay in seconds. So if you understand reverb at all, decay refers to how long it takes for the reverb to basically decay or disappear, fade away to nothing. So the longer the setting, the longer it takes for the reverb to trail off into nothingness. So one thing that Soundtoys are claiming here, that they've obviously taken their emulation of the EMT 140 and they've taken it to another level. So if you read their manual, they basically talk about that the original EMT was only capable of about 5 seconds of reverb time, you know, give or take a bit. But what they've actually done is they've obviously gone and as the indication in the red here, so basically anything below the red is what the original unit could achieve. Anything in the red is what Soundtoys have decided to go to, including an infinity here. And they're stating infinity is about 1 minute in length. So that's extremely long decay time. So all the measurements for the decay times are being done at 500 Hertz. So obviously if you use different Frequencies, that does vary how long that time will decay, but that is the decay time based on 500 hertz signal. So the other settings here is we have a low cut. This is very simple. This is just going to cut out the low end on the reverb itself, so you can thin the reverb out so it doesn't muddy your mix up too much or put too much low end noise in there, and keeps your bass pretty clean. So obviously you've got the lowest setting is 20 hertz all the way up to 1 kilohertz if you wish to filter out up to 1 kilohertz on the reverb. So obviously that's only on the reverb itself, but if you run the reverb on the track and you run it 100% wet, then it's obviously going to affect the signal altogether. This little switch here, mod, basically adds a little bit of modulation to the reverb effect as well. So that can add a little bit of variation to the reverb because you get a bit of modulation, a bit of waviness, however you want to describe modulation. And it can be quite good to add a little bit of texture and a bit of interest to the reverb, so it's not just a plain straight reverb. And then obviously you got your mix control here. So you've got your fully wet, fully dry, which means that this plugin's doing nothing, and then any blend in between. So as you would expect, if you place this on the actual track in an insert, then you would most likely be dialing in a portion of the mix, so not totally wet. If you're placing this plugin on an effects channel that you are then sending to, you would more than likely put it to fully wet and then control how much signal you send to the plugin that way. And that's as complicated as the plugin gets. We can save some presets so that they give you some presets, so you can run through those to see how they do things, and you can obviously create your own. So the main thing is to have a listen and a play with it. So let's put it back to default. And I've just got a guitar track, so let's bypass this for the moment. And now if we bring it in the default setting, keep in mind this is fully wet, you get this. So if we keep it at fully wet just for the moment, let's play with the low cut so you can hear what that does. So you can see that thins out the reverb a lot, takes a lot of that low end sort of rumble, so you don't sort of get a lot of bass build up and a lot of mud through your mix there. Probably don't need to go all the way up to 1K. I'm just leaving it fully wet at the moment just to totally exaggerate the plate so you can really hear the reverb basically on its own. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing just the reverb, no dry signal at all. So it's a good way to actually listen to your reverb, see what you like, what you don't like, and then once you, I guess, get it sounding the way you want, then you can blend it in to the appropriate level. And that's what we'll do here. So I've sort of set my low cut here. Let's have a bit of a play with the decay to see what they mention. So you'll see, even when I went to infinity, even after turning the signal off and stop playing the guitar track, it kept going. So it really is infinity. So let's get it back up to a decent level. And now let's try the mod setting. So to try and hear this mod setting a bit better, what I'm going to do is I've set it quite high, basically just going to get a couple of strums of the guitar and then I'll stop so you can just hear the reverb decay away. And I'll do it with the switch on and the switch off just to sort of hear. I'll do it a couple of times so that we can see if we can hear the difference. So it's a very subtle modulation, nothing extreme there. So I suspect in the full version of this, we'll probably get a lot more controls around the modulation side of things as well. That's just at a guess. I haven't seen anything, so I'm just guessing here. But yeah, it adds a tiny little bit, but it is quite subtle, so nothing extreme there. So now let's try blending some in and see what we sort of like. So it sounds nice to me. I'm liking it. It's a nice sounding plate. So let's just have a bit of a play and check out some of their presets. So basics here. Now, I'm not sure about all the presets, but they might all be going 100% wet because they might be assuming that we're going to always place this on a effects channel, which is what you would usually do. And it seems that's what they're doing. So just make sure you keep that in mind with their presets, that they are assuming that you're putting this onto an effects channel. So if you're putting it on an effects channel, then that's fine. But if you do decide for some reason to place it directly on the track, just make sure you adjust this. So we could go through all the presets, but basically there's not many settings that the preset can do. You can only really adjust the decay time, the low cut, and whether the modulation is on or off. So, you know, they're giving you a guide there of what they suggest, but at the end of the day, there's not much they can do with the limited controls on this plugin, but that's all you need. So there you go. There is Little Plate by Soundtoys, a great little plugin, very simple to use, sounds good as well. And let me know what you think of the plugin. Have you tried it? Grab a demo if you haven't, try it out and let me know what you think in the comments. Is this something that you would think about buying? Are you looking forward to maybe the full version of this and interested in seeing how they tackle that and what they're going to actually do and add on top of this plugin to make it a full version? Now, as I said earlier, this was an older video, so hopefully the quality was okay. Hopefully I wasn't too boring in it and you got a lot out of it. If you liked the video, then click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos, and hopefully it's been helpful. I thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.